What's up, guys? Welcome to Rockford Ordnance and our live. Only got a couple people in here. Again, I had all day to promote it, and I decided to do it an hour ago. So we'll give it a little time for some people to get in here. Make sure my mic's up and good. Somewhere in there. Let me make sure. Yeah. I think the volume's okay. Looks like things are working, I guess. Let's see. There we go. Just giving it a few minutes for some people to get in here, guys, and then we'll get going. Hope all your weeks have, or your week has been going well. And you're staying warm if you're up this way. Why can't I hide this damn thing? Can't see my whole screen because of taskbar. Let's see if I can get it to hide itself here. Give me 1 minute, guys. I'm so sorry. Come on. It's all automatically on. Oh, well. I don't know why it won't go away. I don't know why. All right. You guys, I guess there's a couple here. We'll just get going. Is everything looking okay? Everybody hear me okay? Before everybody gets on here, I guess look over my shoulder. You know, we can't touch anything on here, but we can show things. You know, things can be in the background, whatever. And I guess you wouldn't really call it a firearm anyhow. It's you don't need a license for it. You don't need anything. It's an antique, although a modern replica and a beautifully executed one, I may add. It is a black powder, of course, flintlock pistol. And it's rifled. It's got some beautifully grained tiger maple and just really well done. It's got a Pedersoli barrel. I don't know if the whole thing was made by Pedersoli. To me, it's a much nicer execution than what you usually see from Pedersoli. Yeah, planning on a duel. You know what? I think they should bring those back on the house floor. What do you think? Today would have been a great day for one, wouldn't it? I'm staying off that subject, at least for now. I'm sure I'll get into it here somehow, some way. I'll get dragged into it. But so sickening to watch. Just absolutely sickening. Anyhow, we got 8 people in here. I thought I'd put that up there. I actually bought that for a gift for my father-in-law. I joined him in his business a few years ago, and just trying to bring a company back to its former glory. And we accomplished our goal, I guess. And when things started going good, he had noticed that in a local pawn shop up in northern Wisconsin where our plant was. And you know, at the time, money was tight and everything, and I could just see he loved it. He loves that stuff. He loves the Wild West. He's a lot of the reason I'm back into firearms and all, because he's always been into it. And I just saw the look in his eye and how he just loved it, you know. So when we landed one of our big old accounts back, I went and got it for him and surprised him. And he brought it out here the other day, and we had never fired it. And I thought, well, let's go. So I got it sparking. I got it loaded up, 50 cal. I wonder if you'll be able to own those 50 cals when and if the new gun legislation goes into effect. Can you own an antique pistol in 50 cal? Because they're banning 50 cal. 15 years in prison for one round of 50 cal in your possession. How's that sound? Anyhow, let her rip with about, I think, 40 grains or so. I think that nipple, there's a nipple on the powder flask. I think it was about 20 grains estimated. You're not going to hurt it, even if you put 60 in the damn thing, you know. And 4F in the pan and sparked. Had to adjust the flint a little, got it sparking, and boom. Man, the thing much louder than you would think. And, you know, when you're shooting a rifle, black powder rifle, it's one thing, but that short little barrel, pretty damn accurate, too. Just shooting at some stuff in the snow and having fun with it. But good way to pass the day when, you know, ammo's kind of short and that kind of thing. If you haven't learned anything or don't know anything about black powder, it's kind of a fun hobby. It's if you like intricate things and you like, you know, procedures, let's say, it's kind of cool. You pack it down and you know, you start the ball and the patch and all that good stuff. And you learn as you go. It's fun. Anyways, if you're going to do it, plan on, you know, more than 2, 3, 4, 5 shots. You want to spend the day, a couple hours doing it because you got to take it all apart and wash it and clean it afterwards so you don't get any rust on such a beautiful piece like that. But it was fun. So it was laying here and I thought I'd put it up there so you guys can see. It's so damn pretty. Anyhow, like the title says, I got 3 things in there. One, are you ready? You know, even when you think you're ready for whatever, it's not just necessarily stuff that's going on now, but are you ready for someone kicking your front door in? Are you ready for taking the fight to somebody? Are you ready for, you know, there's maybe insurrection in the country and things are getting crazy and there's roving gangs, whatever, your zombie apocalypse picture in your head. Are you ready for it? Even when you think you're ready, you're a guy like me, you think you got everything, you're ready to go. Nobody's going to touch me. You're not ready. I can promise you, because Mike Tyson had a saying, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face, right? And everybody's got a plan until the fight starts, until the gunfight starts. And one of my favorite people in the world is Clint Smith from Thunder Ranch. I love that guy. He's probably one of the most real, down-to-earth, common sense. I wish I could write a book of his sayings, his little stuff. And he doesn't plan them. Some you can tell he's used for years and years and years and years and just regurgitates them. That's a bad word. He did not regurgitate. He just uses them over and over again. And others just come out and you wonder how in the heck, you know, his brain is just interesting and funny and just a cool guy. And he's one of those guys like a Mark Krebs where I wish I could pick his brain for days, you know, just hang out with him, have a beer, sit around, clean guns, whatever. If you guys haven't caught it, I subscribe to this guy. I don't know him. He's one of the personalities on YouTube I don't know, but I like him. He's funny. He's got some really good tech reviews and stuff. But James, what the hell's his? James Reeves from TFB TV. And check out his channel. Check out his Clint Smith and Thunder Ranch stuff on there. He's got a watch list or I forget what you call them, whatever, a list of videos that are all about Thunder Ranch, and watch them from the beginning to the end. Some are 1-minute trailers. Some are, the best are the sit downs with Clint, the conversations and the things he has to say. And man, the guy is just friggin' hilarious, but he makes so much sense. One of the things I love is that, and this will lead into something we're going to talk about later in the live stream. One of the things he says is that once you are a gun owner and you're proficient in using that weapon, nobody can anymore after that point do anything to you or do anything to you or have you do anything you don't want to do. And I think, and that's kind of paraphrasing what he says. He says it much better, but it's so true. And I had actually a family member contact me today, and they're very conservative, very religious, great family, but they just don't know a lot about firearms. Never been around them much. The husband has one or two, maybe shoots when he's off with the boys for a weekend or something like that, but it's not part of every day like it is in my house. My kids, my wife, everybody knows where things are, what to do if something goes south real quick. As Clint would say, heartbeat at 200, poop in your shorts, and everything's going south, right? They know what to do or what not to do. And like I said, they're not against firearms. They're okay with them. What she said was, she doesn't mind them, but she's intimidated by them, and she knows she shouldn't be, and there's no rational reason for her to be other than just, lack of knowledge, lack of familiarity, that type of thing. And what should she do? And being terms are such a big part of my life, my family's life, my extended family's life, I never really put much about it. In my mind, you're gun family or you're not. But today, the only way we're going to beat this is numbers, right? So we need to get all the people we can involved. You need to get everyone, coworkers, extended family, friends, acquaintances. Let them know what you do. If they don't like what you do, guys, they're not going to like you anyways, because chances are your thoughts, your beliefs are different than theirs anyhow. And that's great. Maybe you get along, maybe you don't. Maybe you look past those things. But if they're willing to listen to you and they're logical, and let's face it, the other side, the average person on the other side, not the politicians, is probably worried about the state of affairs and scared, frankly. And frankly, if I was the other side, I'd probably be more scared than our side, right? They think we're armed to the teeth. They think we're a bunch of crazy devils and bloodthirsty, whatever. And I found that nothing could be further from the truth. Like Clint says, we don't want to shoot anyone. Never, ever, ever. We don't advocate it. We don't anything. The last thing I ever want to do is pull the trigger on somebody. That's just, Clint has another famous saying, attached to every bullet you fire is a lawyer. Think about that one. He's absolutely correct, especially today. You have to be very, very careful. You have to know the laws in your area, and for that matter, across the country. If you're traveling and you're carrying, and protecting yourself and others, you have to be able to make that decision. Do I get involved or don't I? Is it a situation that warrants that type of force? So getting those people involved is so important. Don't be afraid. I told you last week that the time for political correctness is over. The political correctness came about because it was the first step at ending the First Amendment, at getting rid of free speech. Because why? Because you could no longer talk how you talked. Whether that speech or words or vocabulary was right or wrong, it was yours, right? And you have a right to say it. Even when some people, when things come out maybe a little wrong, right, or a little antiquated, it's still your speech, it's your belief. And I don't think the average person, I don't think 99.9% of the population are racist. I just don't believe it. And I think the average person are good people. Oh, we fell over there. Well, you can see the lock on the other side. They're good people. They may have been, I go to different parts of the country and I hear different slang terms, this and that. that probably wouldn't be used where I do business or whatever. But they're not meant in that manner. But they've made it out to be almost criminal, right? So it's just one more step at stopping your First Amendment rights. Be done with it. Speak how you speak. I'm not telling you to go out and be a rude bastard or an Archie Bunker, but don't hold back, guys. They don't hold back anything. Nothing. They will tell you how you should walk, talk, think, what you should do, hobbies, what's right, what's wrong, and think nothing of it. They don't care about your feelings. They don't care. They don't. It's time we are who we are, right? We're good people. We're good citizens. We're hard workers. We're taxpayers. We're God-fearing. We go to church. We take care of our families. We take care of our children. We'll take care of our neighbors if they need it. I don't need to give to charities because I will take care of people on my own. I don't ever want to see someone suffer. I can't tell you, and this isn't me, separating my shoulder, patting myself on the back, but I can't tell you how many times I've done things to help people just, because you should, right? America is a giving country. We will give more than anyone in the world. Right now, I guarantee you there's more money flying out of this country for every other bullshit thing on the planet in the guise of, helping the rest of the world. But I don't even know how I got this far into this. The bottom line is get out there and make a difference, whether it's family, friends, coworkers, whatever. Offer to take them out, offer to take them shooting, offer to train them, give them good, solid advice. And that's what I tried to do with this extended family member. And we'll get more into that later. So we talked about, are you ready, real quick? And we're going to start there, but I just wanted to touch a little bit on everything. Are you ready? I promise you this, even if you're that guy that's been doing this for years and you think you're ready, you're not ready. And I'm going to go over a couple experiences I had that just proved how unready I was. And I was a bit embarrassed, a bit shocked, handled it well. I looked at it as a learning experience and a training experience, actually, but and it taught me something that I'll never do again. And could very well save my life in a gunfight. So we'll go over that. And it's just something to get you guys thinking about it because you think you're ready. And I promise you, if I walked in or anybody with any little bit of knowledge walked in and evaluated your kit, your stuff, your rifles, your guns, your ammo, your choices, your tactics, your plan, they would find fault in it. So it's always good to have somebody else look at it and just check it out. And new pews. Got some new stuff this week. Some of that shopping trip is coming to fruition. Got a new 1911. Just one of those things I couldn't pass up. We'll get into that. And one of the new AKs got here. Man, I'm in heaven. I see 2 AEDUs in here. What's up? Thanks for coming by. Appreciate it. Why is it when I talk about AKs, he shows up? I don't get it. We got to do something about that, Mr. 2A. We talked about it. Let's get it done. Excuse me. So, are you ready? New pews, and what was the third one? I don't even remember the name of my own damn live stream. So you could say it somewhere on the screen here. Somebody type it in there so I remember the third point. I'm getting old, guys. Jesus. But let's go through the comments here real quick, and then we'll jump right in. Sorry to get the intro so long, but hey. So Joe's here. Good to have you, Joe. Fish, golf, and guns. Hey, all. Duels happen again. Duels would be cool, right on the floor, right? That'd settle things quick. Take my A2 carbine out, shot all my steel cased. I had through it, got deal on PMC 223, so I had a range day. Awesome. You need to have it. No matter how short ammo is, guys, you got to get out there. Just make that ammo count, right? Instead of blowing through 500 rounds or 250 or whatever your budget is, maybe you shoot 50 rounds, maybe you shoot a mag, maybe whatever it is, get out there. You got to stay fresh. You got to have some trigger time. Get out there. If you haven't done any training, get some training together. Spend your money on some training. You got the guns, guns are one thing. You can keep adding. And yeah, I like to collect, but at some point then you add ammo, and mags. And then it's training. You go through different sets and you try to time it with what's going on with the market and all that. Hey guys. So 2AEDU says, hey guys, I'll be listening. I have to finish some work for a bit. No problem. Hopefully he can get back here before the end of the stream. I got a feeling we're going to go all 2 hours tonight. So stay tuned. It's going to be fun. We're going to jump into a bunch of stuff here and have a good time. Let's see. No one big bear. So call it your new tree. None of us are going to snitch. Yeah, my new tree, right? The tree's gone. It's gone. I got the right camera angle. It's gone. The wife built her office down here, so she's down here all day other than when I'm doing this. It's kind of the new family room. But she popped in last week. You guys saw her in the background there. Archie is polite compared to how I am and not rude, and I'm kind of, but zero bullshit. Oh, I get it, guys. I'm, let's just say I'm in my 50s, okay? And you can humor me and say, God, Chris, you look so much younger than we didn't think you were that old. No, I get it. I noticed some stuff today. I'm looking like, holy shit, I'm getting old. But yeah, if you're our age, guys, and if you're in your 20s, 30s, you guys didn't grow up with this stuff. We did. And it was normal, right, Joe? Absolutely normal. They should meet our fathers and our grandfathers, right? Holy cow. My father, if I put him on here, the stream would be shut down in about 2.5 seconds. 2AEDU, I'm looking forward to Friday too. I hope you're doing good, guys. Yeah, Friday is always a great time over at 2AEDU. I'm usually driving at that time. I got 2 hours driving, so I listen in the car. Sometimes I text at the beginning just saying, hey, I'm here, but I'm doing the same thing 2A is. I'm listening, and I usually get home, it depends how fast I drive and all, but somewhere between an hour and a half and 2 hours. And I usually get in for the end of it. And that's why you see this, all this stuff I'm pouring out on the chat real quick before the end there. Other times I get home early, whatever. But I love his chat and his live stream. It's so awesome. And we're starting to get some more people from over there here. So it's a good thing. Let's see. How's the snow treating you? Yeah, 2A, you must be busier than hell. I know, man, I do the plowing for our businesses. So, I'm out there plowing, salting, all of that. And it's getting to the point where we're going to have trucks come in and haul it out because it's just, I got nowhere left to put it. The other day, I'm walking through the dealership and I thought a customer in service in the waiting area had died. I'm like, what in the hell is that smell? And then the heat went on and went through the whole store. People are gagging, literally gagging. My sales manager's gagging, threatening to leave. And one of my techs comes out of the back. He's been there a long time. He says, I know what it is. You guys piled snow up against this downspout, and it's not breathing, and the smell's backing up. He goes, you dig that out, and it'll be fine. Well, so I pull the plow up. I drop it down. I'm going to back drag it all out. And it's crusted over because it was minus 10, 15 here. It was minus 8 driving to work the other day. It's witch's tit, well digger's ass cold here. It's cold. I got my central heat on. I've got a fireplace going. I got 2 space heaters in the basement. And this basement's a walkout basement surrounded by earth. It's normally warm or cool in the summer, and it just ain't. Let me tell you, it's that cold. So anyhow, we got it freed up. I had the techs come out. Everybody took turns digging because it was buried 10 feet high. Dug it out, and all of a sudden you heard it clear, and the smell went away, thank God. But yeah, it's cold, tons of snow. So 2AEDU must be busier than a one-handed hooker at a hand job convention. Did I say that? I didn't say that. Shh. This is family show. Yeah, there it is. It just pops out once in a while, guys. You lose the filter. Let's see. 2A, I'll be back to chat in 30. I'm still listening. It's not the age, it's the mileage. Yeah, I got a lot of miles, let me tell you. That's right. I'm only 31. My dad is rude old bastard, but I love him. We do. We love our dads, right? No matter what. All right. So that's about it. We're caught up. So are you ready? Are you ready for the fight, for the intrusion, for that door getting kicked in at 1 a.m.? Real quick for the guys in here. And truth, God's honest truth. I want you to put in the comments right now. Get ready to type. You ready? Who's got a gun on them? On their person right now, on your belt, or sitting next to you, right next to you. Hands reach, not got to go in a drawer, dig it out, load it. Who's got one loaded, safety on, in the holster, on your belt, sitting next to you? Who's got one? Got 10, 11 people in here. Who's got a gun sitting next to them right now? I got Joe, I got Orion. Maybe that's about it. I'm sure a few guys don't want to say for whatever reason, but who gives a shit? Yeah, you got 3 within reach. Let me here. I'll do a quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me look over here. Just magazines. 5, 6. There might be another one hiding in there. 6 pistols, no rifles. That's strange. But 6 pistols within, yeah, I can touch all of them. Sitting right here. How many are loaded, ready to go? 1, 2, 3, 4 to 6. 1 in the chamber, lock, cock, ready to go. Bam. That'd be a felony where I'm at right now. Are you shitting me? Will, Jesus. What is it, New York or something? Got to have it locked up all the time or something like that. So you got to, when they kick in the front door and you got about 5 seconds to react, you got to say, hold on a minute. I'll be right. Just 1 sec. Hold on. You got to use your biometric safe and load it up and all that other crap. What a crock of crap. What a crock of crap. College. Okay. Well, not telling anybody to not follow the law, but I've got kids in college. 2 recently graduated, so I don't have to worry anymore. And they're back home right now. One's going to be married soon, just has a great job. Actually, a COVID, what do you call it? The ones that track it. Tracer, right? For the county. And now she just got a job. She's going to be a doctor, but she's got a gap year. And she's got a job with a hospital now and getting married to a magnificent kid. And my other one's home. He wants to be a politician. He wants to set things straight. He goes back and forth between it, but at heart, he's an entrepreneur. So we'll see. Might have to get the kids started in something. And my other one's going to be a veterinarian, and she's away at school. And I worry about her the most because she's not stupid. She's got a lot of common sense. That's a 4.0 student, literally 4.0 in pre-vet. And that's no small feat, let me tell you. She's in Michigan. She's by 2A EDU. She's at Central. And that's one of the pre-vet schools in the country. Anyhow, good kid, but you got to keep them prepared, let's just say, no matter what, right? And when she comes home, we train. And they're very good. I promise you that. Better than me probably at this point. Anyhow, so a few of you have them next to you. Some can't, that type of thing. Whatever room you're in the house, guys, right now. Do you have one upstairs? Do you have one downstairs? Do you have one in the kitchen? Do you have one in the bedroom? What happens if you're in the kitchen grabbing a snack and the gun's across the house in the bedroom or it's downstairs and they're between you and that firearm? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What if you wake up in the middle of the night and, oh, crap, I left it in the cushion of the couch? Whatever the case may be. What are you going to do? You need to be ready. The place you are most vulnerable is at home. I'm telling you right now. Why? Because you get comfortable. You get comfortable. If you carry one on you, that's great. What if something happens to you? Do you have one upstairs in the kitchen where the wife is that she can grab? Do you have one in the garage? Do you carry one while you're out on the riding mower? All these in the shower? I have one with me in the shower at all times. Always. I don't get in the shower without it. It's like that'd be like getting in the shower without a bar of soap. You know, it's in the shower with me. It's in the bathroom. It's everywhere. I am not getting caught short. That is the biggest fear I have, that all these preparations I've made and everything I've done, and for some little brain fart, I'm not prepared. Yeah, and that's just and if I was unable to protect my family and God forbid something happened, I could never live it down. So I just make sure, just think about it, guys. I get it. If you have little kids at home, there's ways to do it. You need to be safe. You don't need access from little kids. You can put biometric safes everywhere. Put them in a kitchen cabinet, a drawer, bolt them down. Do whatever you have to do. Keep it on your person. I've got a good friend of my son who is a Marine. He's in South Carolina right now. He's a radio guy. And they've had someone, he's newly married, new little baby. Hey, John, if you're listening, shout out to you. Just a good kid. He grew up with my son. They were going in together till my son got hurt the night before boot camp. And just a good kid. I love him to death. He's like my son. And he was always one of these kids that just mom and dad were real tight with him. He had to pay for everything he got, period. Whether it was clothes, whether it was sporting goods, whatever. And his dream was to have a Grand, and he got into bow hunting. I helped him out anytime I could. I helped this kid out. I give him reloading gear. I just like the kid. He's just, man, he's just one of the best American citizens you could ever put on this planet. And he got a Grand recently. And part of the reason one of my new pews that came in was because he bought this one, and I had kind of looked at it once I talked to him and saw it. I got one, but he's had, they live off base, I guess, or maybe on off base. Yeah. And they've had a couple incidents now where she's home alone. He's at work, protecting our country. And all of a sudden the doorknob starts moving, jiggling. Someone's trying to get in. Handprints on the back window, all kinds of stuff. Scary, 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 right? So he went out and got her a 1911, and she's proficient at using it. And he's protecting himself, man. Life is a scary thing. And I sent her and him a lot of info about the USCCA insurance to cover it if something happens. You don't want to ruin your life by protecting it, right? They give you insurance. Get it. It's cheap. They don't sponsor me. I don't do anything with them. I'm a member for the insurance. There's some good training on their website. I'll give them that, especially for women. So check it out. But yeah, he armed her. It's just about being ready, guys. And it starts with having something near you. Okay, you bought it. Okay, you know how to use it. Okay, you train. Maybe the new owners are a little more serious about this than we are, right? Maybe we've been doing this such a long time. It's old hat. You know, there's guns all over the place, right? I can grab one. But you gotta be ready. I told you there was a situation that happened that I'd relate to you. Where I proved I wasn't ready. And thank God it happened during a competition. So it wasn't a life-threatening event, although it certainly was embarrassing to be a guy with a channel and a guy that knows a lot about guns and a gunsmith and have shit like this happen. And so I go to a 3-gun competition, and I had just built an Arrow AR, 16-inch barrel, pencil barrel, ultralight with their super light handguard, M4E1 receiver, ultralight bolt carrier group, all, everything taken out of it, super light, special buffers. I got the thing, adjustable gas, all this stuff. And I go through my usual process of setting the gas, and it's running great, man. This thing is running. And there is no recoil. I got a muzzle brake on this thing. It's just pop, 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 pop. It's so fast. Jesus. yeah, I'm gonna kill it at this competition, at this 3-gun thing, right? Well, we go out to this competition. My buddy Jake from Too Fat Tactical comes with, and he's running the wagon and got the mags ready for me and everything, hooking me up when I come off the course and all that. And don't you know it's fall, and that morning happened to be about 10 degrees out, and ice, freezing rain, snow, all this stuff. I thought, great, typical, right? I go out and the weather turns to crap. Now, it had been in the 60s and 70s a few days before that. I get out on the course and start the course, I think I forget if it was shotgun, but got some long distance shots to make, a 200-yard shot, some other stuff. And I pull out that AR and it's brand new, man. I'm ready to go. And click, boom, and the first shot goes and I pull it again and nothing. I got a 1-shot gun, the thing short stroking. How in the hell does that happen? I've put together 1,000 of these things. I know what I'm doing. What did I do? It was running so good. I tweaked the gas. Yeah, I always go one turn better, just to give it enough. But in this case, I was about, I think, a half a turn or right there. Whatever. The gun was running really good. What I didn't account for was that 10 degrees that morning, right? 10 degrees changed or a 50-degree difference changed everything. And that gun was essentially a bolt action. And I timed out on the first course of fire. Destroyed my day right there. You can see it. I got a video on it and I talk about it. But it just showed me right there a couple things. And then, so you build this gun, it's your go-to, it's your fighting rifle, it's this, it's that. And something as simple as that blows it. And what if you had 3 guys coming at you? And maybe you pop the first one, but what? I'm usually double, triple tapping at a minimum, right? And so I go click and nothing. And they're on you before you can even transfer to the next firearm, right? And at a 1 a.m. situation, do you have a second firearm there? What's the old saying? 1 is none, 2 is 1, and 3 is spare parts, right? So, yeah. AR pistol in the bedroom, Orion fixer. You got some headgear in there too, because Clint has a great thing. Clintisms. Check out TFB TV, and when he's talking about stuff, and he says he says muzzle brakes are a great thing till you're in that hallway, and he goes bang, and he goes for the next 3 hours you're going to hear and he's yelling, the ringing in your ears. Yeah, it's friggin' horrendous. You don't hear it. I'll tell you what. I've been in those situations. I've been in gunfights. Okay, I've been in 2 gunfights. You don't hear it when it's happening. It's not like being at the range. It's not like being at the range. Like I was at Jake's house. He's got video of it, and I'm shooting my mini Draco, and we shut the filming down, and we went back to filming. And I wasn't thinking. I didn't throw my ear pro on, and I let that first shot go. You can see the pain in my face. I truly lost hearing from that moment. That was one of the moments where I lost a lot of my hearing, but it was horrible. Funny thing is, in a fight, you don't hear it. You just don't. I don't know what it is. I couldn't tell you, but you don't. But it's going to do some damage, especially in a house. At a minimum, have a blast can that's pushing it forward. But that's terrible. My son's had experiences where with gunfire in a house, and he'll tell you it's no fun either. Anyhow, be ready. It's the things you don't think about. Tonight, I'm talking just mainly about weapons. Let's talk about, I'm an AK channel, right? Or that's how we at least started out. That's what we love. If I'm getting into the thick of it, am I going to take that AK or am I going to grab an AR? You guys, man, this may be a little controversial, but You guys may think, oh, Chris is going to grab an AK. I don't know. I'll tell you what, and I run both extremely well, but I'll tell you what's easier to run. An AR is easier to run, guys. Period. End of story. Always easier to run. The mags load easier. They just do. I'm fast. I can load and unload an AK with the best of them, but they're faster. Period. Safety's faster. Everything's faster. I don't care with the Krebs on it. Without, it's an easier gun to run. Doesn't make the AK bad. I love the AK. Right? That's what I do. But they can be a heavier gun. It just depends how they're built, but they'd definitely be a heavier gun. What do you grab? And we all have our AKs that maybe if you're a kit builder, you're a collector, you're collecting for history, different types, different countries, it's one thing. But if you're one of the guys that's taking their AKs and making them tactical or making their AR and adding a lot of stuff to it, I promise you this, the less you put on that gun, the better. You want to figure out how you're going to set that rifle up or pistol up with the least amount of crap you can put on it. Period. Why? And this is the God's honest truth. You guys may not believe it. You guys may, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I know what I'm talking about. The less stuff you can put on it, the better. The more simple, when you do choose options, whether it's optics, whatever, the simpler they are, the better. Okay? There's a reason things are made to mil spec, overgassed, running, right? Because they're not safe queens. They're not sitting on a bench. 90% of us will not toss a gun on the ground. 90% of us won't even touch a mag to the ground. Think about it. I see it every time you go to range. They roll out their cloth, the flannel, they put it down. Oh, God forbid it scratch. And don't get me wrong, I got guns like that. But my fighting stuff, I give two shits what it looks like. Optics, depends on the mission, right? Depends on what you're doing. But I'll tell you right now, whether it's an AR or an AK, if you have the choice to have two, I'd set one up with a red dot and always quick release. And then a solid set of backup sights, metal preferred. I don't care what kind. I run Magpul. I run whatever's in stock and I can grab. I got a couple brands I go between. I got Magpul, the MBus Pros, and the Troy, and there's another one too. Can't remember, but quick release on the optic because they're going to take a shit at some point. They just are, or the battery's going to go out, or whatever. So I'd have one set up with a red dot and backups. You want to put a charging handle in? Great. Put a charging handle in, put a quality one in. That's one of the upgrades. I can absolutely agree on an AR. Other than that, trigger, quality trigger. Don't put any junk in there. If you don't know what you're doing, one of the simplest mistakes to make in the world is putting your trigger spring in wrong on an AR. Having the legs go the wrong way. It may work, but it's not striking as hard, and the legs are not holding the pins in. And a few shots into that firefight, and your pins are falling out, and when that happens, the whole thing's jammed up. And I've gotten lucky and gotten them back together in 5-10 seconds, and I've had them jammed so bad that I threw it in the case and took it home and said, I'll deal with it later. Make sure you know what you're doing. Your life could depend on it. Worst case scenario, I guess, or best case scenario is they'll take it away from you and beat you to death with it. Worst case scenario, they're armed too, and you're done because you put a spring in backwards, Second optic, 1x6, low power variable optic, right? 1x6, 1x4, 1x8, whatever you can afford. And when they first came out, 1x4s were the thing, and they were expensive. And then when 1x6s came out, the 1x4 price dropped, and then 1x8s came out, and the 1x6 dropped. 1x6 is more than enough to 300 even further, but and don't shoot with it in the 6 power all the time. Cut it in half. Shoot it at 3. Shoot it at 0. Shoot it at 2. Get used to it. It makes the other stuff easier. Okay. Trigger control. Yeah, your heart's going to be racing and things are happening that you did not plan on, right? Everybody has a plan till you get punched in the face, and then that all goes out the window. Sometime walk across your house to your gun room, whatever, at a quick pace. Walk across your house at a quick pace to the safe, whatever. Open it up, grab your rifle out, go prone or go take a knee and aim that gun and look at what the muzzle's doing. Take a look at it. Just did a quick walk across your house. Right? Your heart rate raised just a little bit. You weren't out jogging. You weren't running. Somebody's not attacking you. The wife's not screaming. The dogs aren't barking. A guy's not charging in with a machete. None of that's going on. You simply walked across your basement and take a look what that muzzle device is doing. It's doing this. It's going, and you think you're going to hit something. Get the basics down, get the breathing down, get the trigger control down, get all that down, and practice it every time you're out there, because when it does happen, it's all going out the window. It's one thing if they're 5 feet in front of you, I guess you can light them on fire at that point, right? But I seen guys miss. Anybody see that video? Here, talk about being ready. This is prime. I forgot about this. Did anyone see the video? I call it the snow shovel shooting in Pennsylvania. Anybody look that up? Did anybody take a look at that video? It's a security camera from a house. It looks like an apartment complex or maybe townhome complex. Husband, wife, or boyfriend, girlfriend out shoveling. Guy across the street, neighbor, who faces them, he's shoveling. And they're pushing their snow all the way across the street onto his pile, I guess. Didn't look like it was in a way, but he's upset about it. Well, whatever. It's his property, I guess. Whatever. He has the right to be. I guess there was some stuff going on previous. They had some bad run-ins. Obviously, the guy across the street is a bit nuts because they're shoveling and they're having words back and forth. And this is one of the things I tell my son all the time, because when you're young and dumb and the testosterone's flowing and you're 6'5", you tend to have a bigger mouth than a lot of people, right? And I've told him time and time again, that big mouth is going to get him in trouble, that he's better off to just shut it and walk away. Know when to walk away. Don't test people because you don't know who they are. You have no idea who these people are, what their backgrounds are, what their mental status is. Why bother? Why bother? Get out of the situation. The older you get, the more you learn this guy. That guys and tempers are no good. Let me tell you. But this guy kept going on this guy, and I'm not saying he was right or wrong or whatever, but he's calling him a pussy and all this stuff, and like pussy. That's right. Yeah, come on back. Go walk away. All this stuff. And it took me a few times watching the video to realize that the guy had a gun out at the very end there, a pistol. And the guy and the girl are both yelling at him. Oh, big guy. Yeah, come on, use it. The guy's pointing a gun at you, folks. And you're going to tell him, come on, use it? That's not ballsy. That's not bravado. That's absolute friggin' stupidity. He gets 5 or 6 rounds off at them before they even move. They're still yelling stuff. And he's got 5 rounds. I think he hits them with the 6th or 7th round. I'm trying to think if he hits the woman first. No, I think he hits the guy first. He spins around. Then he hits the girl 2-3 times. She hits the ground. The guy retreats back to the house between some cars. She's laying in the middle of the street. He walks out and he's within arm's reach of her, puts the gun up to her, and pow, and he shoots her twice. But each time he shoots, she like swipes his hand away. And I'm pretty sure she did swipe his hand away and it didn't hit. Because she was still moving, screaming, crying, this, that. The shooter retreats to the house, and in the few seconds he's gone, some neighbors come over, and they're looking kind of careful, seeing what's going on. You call the police, call 911, all this. Then you see the one guy look, and he must see the guy coming back, and he runs. Nobody's there to help you. These people are there dying, bleeding in the street, right? You can say the guy's crazy, or you can say they're moronic. It was all stupid. It's the most retarded. There I go again. Filter. It's the most gigantic conglomeration of stupidity I've ever seen in my life, and it's sad and it's scary to watch. And if you're like me and my background, maybe you don't think much of it. You just go, I'm another few idiots out there. But when you think about it in the general context of the general population, it's scary that it could happen so quick and so over absolutely nothing. So anyways, here comes the guy back, and now he's got a rifle. Can't quite see what it is, but I think it's an AR. I can see the sling hanging and all. And he walks up, and there's a microphone on this. You hear him say, "Bitch, you should have kept your mouth shut." And he plugs her twice in the head. Bow, bow. And he walks right over to the guy and plugs him once, but this guy doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, he's throwing the gun at the guy as he's shooting him and stuff. And it's the dumbest thing you ever seen in your life. But here's a guy which you can tell with absolutely zero training, absolutely zero anything. He's been to the range a few times with his shellac and whatever piece of garbage rifle he has. Yet he killed these two people. If they didn't have the smarts to even run, protect themselves, didn't think they were in danger, I don't know what they thought. They show him walk off, and I guess from news reports he killed himself later. Police barricaded in. I don't know if they heard a shot or what, but they found him dead. So good, saved the rest of us a bunch of money and time. That doesn't take away from the fact that he murdered two people, right? The video's still out there. It's sad. It really is. Yeah, I hope if you're squeamish on that kind of stuff, or don't show kids. Please don't. Know that you got to protect them from that. That those people are out there. This guy was a functioning piece of society, I assume. He's going to work every day, probably, all this stuff, and he just snaps one day. Maybe he was the kid that was picked on every day. Maybe he was the one beat up at the bike rack. I don't know. And being called the P word 6 times in a row just set him off. Maybe somebody embarrassed him in front of a girlfriend. I don't know. But he lost it. He absolutely lost it. He killed two people who were, no matter what they were doing, they were someone's son, wife, daughter, sister, mom, dad, whatever. They didn't deserve to die at all. No matter how stupid they are, they didn't deserve to die. And this guy, at best, had he not taken himself out, what did he do? He put himself in prison for a bunch of years. His family's upset. They've lost someone. The other loved ones lost a dad, a brother, a son, a this, or that. No matter how messed up he is, it's just crazy. Are you ready? You're out shoveling snow. The gun should be on you. Period. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. And I guarantee you guys can, every one of you, there's 13 of you in here right now. Every one of you, sometime this week, ran to the store, jumped in the car, went out to shovel, get mail, do this, sitting watching TV, and you had nothing within arm's reach to protect your life and your family's life. Think about it. Guarantee every one of you. It's even those that always have it. It happened to me. There's been 1 or 2 times in a hurry, whatever. It's rare for me, very, very rare, but it does happen. You got to be ready. You have to. Equipment. I don't know how you're going to fight. How I like to fight. Do I have armor? Yeah, I have armor. It's a pain in the ass. I guess if I had my perfect way to fight is just my belt, and at worst case scenario, a chest rig. Depending what I'm carrying. Maybe shoulder pads, but it depends on the rig I have at the time, because anytime I wear shoulder pads, they tend to come up and rub on your neck, and they drive you nuts after about 2 hours, sometimes even less. If you don't know that, if you haven't worn your armor long enough or often enough, or your carrier or your chest rig or whatever, or your war belt, you better find out. wear it to the range or wherever you train or wherever you shoot or wherever you work. Find out that it works. Don't just buy the stuff, try it on, attach your gobs of garbage that you think you're going to need, and think it's going to work, because it's not. You'll jump in a car and your IFAC's on the back, and and you can't even sit in the car. Guys, it's stuff you don't even think of. I promise you this, unless you did a job where this was required at some point for whatever you were doing, you never did it long enough to know what works and what doesn't. And it's different for everybody. I could tell you what works for me and it's not working for you. I can tell you this, the minimalist way is the best way, because at the end of the day, the more you have, the bigger the pain in the ass it is. Yeah, well, I could need it. That's in case this happens. Okay, the less you have, the lighter it is, the easier it is to use, wear, carry, whatever. The more you'll use it, the easier it is, the lighter it is, the less tiring it is. Simple is better, always, always, always. Make sure that's what you do. Used to look at it as like bullets and Band-Aids, right? That's what you need. What else on that? Simple. All I can tell you is simple, guys. Don't go adding all kinds of crap. If you want to add it and you've used that particular accessory or item for years, and I mean years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, fine. You know it works, wonderful. If you haven't and you're just going off somebody else's advice, some half shill on YouTube, whatever, don't put it on what you're betting your life on. Use it on something else till you can say, yeah, it works. That's all. Let's go back to the comments here real quick. Let's see if I can get in here. AR pistol in the bedroom. Joe, always ready, never unarmed. Plus he's 6'2", 300 pounds. Yeah, I don't need to be angry and have all kinds of rage. Come on. That's the reason we prepare, right? We're not scared of anything. We don't need to have that rage and that stuff. Just do what it takes. That's all. Yeah, I've been to comps with guys with adjustable gas block AKs, turned it all the way jam-o-matic. I stopped considering adjustable guns. Don't not consider adjustable guns. It's not the gun. It was the guy setting it up. It was my fault, not the gun's fault. Those things are tools, parts of tools that work fabulous. Pick the right one. In my opinion, there's only one gas block to use that has, I'll get the name. I'll put it down in the comments here, but it never gets dirty. It cleans itself. I don't have to worry about screws coming loose and in and out. It's got a detent, the whole 9 yards. Works great. And you just don't set it for, you got to crank it up for your lightest ammo and the lowest temperature you're going to be in. That's my advice. And they work fabulous. You can't keep cranking it down thinking, ooh, here's another Clintism. He says, muzzle brakes. We put a muzzle brake on our AR to tame the awesome thundering recoil of the 223 cartridge. And he looks around the room. Yeah, that 5.56. Man, what recoil, huh? Hey, come on, let's face it. I know, it's stupid. You're taming it with a muzzle brake. You're taming it with a light bolt carrier and all the proper gassing and all that. What do you want to do? Get rid of it completely? Come on. You can handle it. You can shoot fast. You can do all that. You just can't keep going. I learned that lesson. Nothing wrong with adjustable gas blocks, guys. They're good. Just set them up right. Hearing is so bad now. The ringing. My ears are ringing right now. Both. They just ring constantly. It's probably why I talk so much, because the only time I don't pay attention to it is when I'm talking. Other than that, I'm past being driven crazy by it, because it's there always. It sucks. I don't know. I never really have tried to get rid of it with medication or anything like that, but not big on medication. But it's there always, constantly. Ringing is as loud as you, and I'm wearing. Yeah, I know exactly the feeling. Especially my left one. My right's bad, but my left is worse for whatever reason. I don't know why. I've got 6 guns. I have them all ready always. I don't have a budget for multiples yet. It's okay. It just means that the one you do have has to be set up right. Make sure it is. Simple. Because stuff goes wrong. Guys, optics are going to move at some point. Batteries are going to go dead. Glass is going to get broken. Whatever. It happens. And if you can't get it off of there quick and go back to irons or backups, you're dead. Figure it out. Simple. I'm not saying optics aren't bad. Optics are a magnificent thing. I have them on everything. But you better be able to get it off. The nice thing with AKs and side mounts is what? We can rip them off in a heartbeat, and our sights are there. AR's different story. Clamp them down, and they're there if you don't have a quick detach. So get yourself a quick detach and get a quality one that's not going to move on you. It's going to happen. I sight something in, I shoot it with rare exception. At some point, stuff moves. Or, with the way ammo is right now, can you get the same ammo all the time that you sighted that gun in with? Think about that one. I sighted mine in with 855 in it, green tip, and then I go to M193. Is it going to shoot the same? No. So make sure you're ready. Things are going to change. What else? I've got 6 guns. Also close range. I fix M7, especially in the house. Charles Howell. Hey man, just wanted to tell you thanks for your videos. The furniture refinishing guides helped me immensely. You're like the Bob Ross of shellac. Bob Ross, that artist, right, on PBS or whatever. Public Communist Television. Yeah, I like refinish. That kind of stuff to me is therapeutic. It's like reloading, very therapeutic. Refinishing with shellac, Comblock stocks, love it. Just one of them things that calms the soul, so to speak. Joe saw that video. Charles saw that video. Did anyone else see the 22-year-old YouTuber who got shot doing a prank robbery? They were using knives and the guy had a gun. There's a genius, huh? He won a Darwin Award. Yeah. Yep. Did AK guy have him on his Darwin Awards thing? Brandon probably put him on there if he hasn't been. Next time he does one. Kid was delusional about prank YouTubers. As soon as you get angry, you lose your edge. Yes, you are correct. That's why that rage thing, Joe, and all, get it under control, man. You don't want to do that. There's no reason to be angry. We just do what we do, and we keep pushing for what we push for. Definitive arms. What, on the gas block? I think it is, actually. Superlative. You want to go with a gas block, do the superlative. Best thing out there. They make them in silver and black. Blacks are harder to find sometimes. I've used a couple different ones when I couldn't get a superlative, but I've always went back and changed it out. Great stuff. I meant under an attack. Okay. Well, that's the thing. You turn into that too. That's not. You got to keep your cool, keep your calm, keep the heart rate down, and think. Think, and be looking. You need peripheral. You need vision. It's just training. It's training. You have to be. It's got to become. I won't say it's norm, but it's got to become like the norm, kind of. It's not got to be that heart attack. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's not how gunshots. How do I put it? It's not that freak out, I guess, is what it's. It's kind of normal to me in a way, and I don't freak out at it. I assess. So I don't know. Yes, I do. Here's the thing with that bleed off. That's why I got it. Because I didn't want all the crap coming back into the action of the gun, right? And I believe superlative makes 2. I thought they only made the 1. So I couldn't figure out it wasn't bleeding off. It was going back, and you adjust it. I think it's one way to bleed off, one way to whatever. And it's been a while since I built these. I haven't built anything that required one in a while. And it took some doing or figuring. I can't remember what, but the bleed off is the way to go. Yeah, you don't want all that crap going back in. I'm trying to think now if that was... Maybe at one point they made one that didn't bleed off, but the ones I have bleed off. But I had a hard time with them. How about you, Orion? What did you figure on yours? Because I know I had a hard time with that. I was like baffled. Like, why is this thing not? It just seemed like it was just shutting off the gas port as opposed to bleeding it off. You know what I mean? So I know there was a fix, or I figured it out, or whatever, but it's been a while. It's been at least 3 years since I built one with it. But they work phenomenally. Quick question on the furniture refinishing. I've struggled with putting shellac on lower handguards, then lay it on a bed or carpet. Yes. So shellac, you're probably using Vinzer or what's the other brand? Whatever Home Depot carries, right? Out of the can. And you put the shellac on, and you put, like everybody does, or well, like I show how to do, 6, 7, 10, 15 coats, right? And it's one thing, at 1 or 2 coats, the stuff hardens up pretty good. But the more you put on, the longer it takes to cure. And shellac can take months to cure, literally months. And the way I show to use it is, it depends on the project I'm doing, but on some of them, I want to leave the marks. I don't want to sand the wood. I want to leave those scars in there. They're history to me on some guns. Some I want perfect. But when there's scars, dents, dings, I fill them in with the shellac. You build it up. It's like a build-up coat. And I let it dry, and then I use steel wool to bring it back down. So I build it up, bring it down, build it up, bring it down, build it up, bring it down until everything's filled in and it feels smooth. But looking through the shellac, you can still see the dents and stuff. Well, it can be very thick at some points, especially at the ends where, maybe it's drying and it runs down to the corners, this type of thing. And especially on handguards, go shoot it some. Go put 5, 6, 7 mags through an AK on a course or training or whatever, and the stuff starts to bubble up too. Heating it up like that is a great way to cure it. Unfortunately, it's going to bubble and do all kinds of weird things from the heat. Or like you said, you lay it down, like let's say you lay it across your lap on your jeans. It'll leave a perfect imprint of the weave of the cloth, right? How do you get rid of it? Well, A, you let it cure longer, which you're like, Christ, I've been letting it dry for 3 months, right? And it's still doing it. Or you shoot it and it bubbles up. How do you get rid of the bubbles? Steel wool will take them out. You're taking some off, that's all. Or you are most likely using way too heavy a coat on it. Shellac goes on very thin and protects very well. When I say thin, 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 thin. Or do this, cut it with denatured alcohol. A quart can do God knows how many stocks, and it'll thicken up on you. Sitting in the can, you got a half can left, and it thickens up. Cut it with denatured alcohol. It evaporates out after a while. Denatured alcohol thins it. It'll let it go on smoother, glassier, thinner, and cure faster. It'll flash off faster, everything. Keep in mind, though, that too much alcohol can make it dry too fast in some cases. So just be careful. You got to experiment a little bit, but you're just putting too much on, and that imprints are there. And to get rid of them, just steel wool them again. But they eventually cure up, and it's not going to happen anymore. But if you put it on real thick, or you did that method to where you're filling in stuff, it can be annoying. That's for sure. It's just part of the game. But that's why shellac is so wonderful, because it's so pliable. It's so fixable. All that stuff. You can get rid of all the runs, drips, errors with a little 4-aught steel wool, and it looks beautiful again. You can even use denatured alcohol on a Q-tip on your finger. Let's say you get a scratch, put a little denatured alcohol on your finger and just circle around the scratch or scuff or whatever, and it'll soften it and kind of bring it into the middle there to the scratch. Cover the scratch, let it all dry, and then steel wool it, and it's gone. You don't have to recoat it. It's the great thing. Hey, Mateo, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. You missed some good stuff. We were talking about being ready and who's got a gun on them right now. One's within arm's reach. How often we are in our house, the other end of it, and you'd have to get to the other end of it to get a weapon. And what if someone's in between? Having your equipment ready, keeping it simple, staying away from all these accessories that complicate things, having quick detaches on your optics so you can go to irons fast if need be, and all these other things. But just being ready. We all think we're ready and we're not. Even me, even everybody on here, I promise you. So that's what we went through. If you guys have any specific questions on accessories, what works, what doesn't, what you need, trust me, if you haven't used it before at the range, there's no time for fixing shit. There's no time for anything. There's time for fighting, and that's it. It's like your pistols, guys. You got a pistol on you? Check your holster. Everybody wants to go to these lightweight things. I'm going to show you 2 holsters here, since we can show holsters on the channel. I can't show the guns, but I can show the holsters. And I'll show kind of 2 extremes. And while I'm comfortable with them, somebody not as familiar, and I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying you got to know your abilities and how you can protect you. But here's a typical, this is Mission First Tactical. I love these. They're cheap. They're Kydex. They completely cover the trigger guard. This one happens to be for a Kimber Micro 9. That's probably, well, I've got some tacky pocket holsters for like my 380 Smith & Wesson Bodyguard. Gun I just throw in my pocket, run into the mailbox or something. But then you got this, and it's an inside the waistband, so all that's holding it on is the strength of your belt and this clip, right? So how many of you guys, what kind of belts do you wear? You wearing a regular everyday leather bullshit Target belt, or you wearing something like this that's thick, Velcro. This thing will stand up in a corner itself. It's so thick and so strong, and once this is clipping down on it, it's taking a lot of force to get that thing, the holster, out of there. And again, the gun is not in. There's no retention, other than the click. Or you got something a little more solid like this. You got 2 things. This ain't coming off your belt no matter what you do. You can tug this thing as hard as you want. Unless you are moving these clips and trying to get them off, it's not coming off. This is for my 365 XL SIG and my everyday carry. I have these. This one. Yeah, this is my 365. I got another one over here, same holster for my 1911s. And I've got another one for my Glock 17. Yes, I don't carry 19. I carry 17. I have small guns when I want small guns, and I have full-size guns when I want full-size guns. My M17, I carry that in an outside the waistband retention holster. That's my battle gun. That or my Glock. I have one for my Glock too. I'm a 1911 guy, but you know what? You got to decide what you shoot best, and be honest. Be honest with yourself. Forget about the gun you love. Forget about the looks of it. Forget about the history or what you feel or whatever. Be honest And which one do you shoot well, fast, accurate, under pressure? What do you shoot the best? And that better be what's on your rig, period. I hate Glocks. I don't like them. There's nothing appealing to them to me. They're ugly. They're plain. They're boring. Everybody's got one. Ugh. They're like a brick. They're terrible. I hate them. No safety. I want a safety on my gun. Don't ask me why. I'm old. That's why. So what? Maybe you should ask yourself why I made it this far, right? I don't like Glocks, but guess what? I'm looking at three of my 1911s, my 365, my Micro 9, which is essentially a mini 1911, right? Imagine that I'd have one, my M17. The only one I don't have out here is my Glock 17. But guess what? I shoot my Glock 17 the best. We go to the range, and every time I'm shooting it, my son goes, God, Dad, Jesus, do you realize what you do with that gun? You're like a laser with that thing. And he's thought about it one day, and I'm like, he's right. I don't think about the sights. I don't obtain a sight picture with that gun. That gun comes up, and I'm not even thinking sights. It just comes up, and I'm pop, 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 and they're there. And I transition targets and everything. It's like a laser, man. It's just there. Am I good with my other guns? Yeah, I'm great with my 1911s. I'm not that good with them. You put a 17 in my hand, and I'm unstoppable. It's crazy. I hate them. I hate them. I hate the way they look. All of that. For whatever reason, it's not my bag. But guess what's on my battle belt? Yep, Glock 17. Because why? Because it always works. It's got tons of firepower, and I shoot it better than anything. If you are standing in front of me at any kind of range, I got the drop on you, and it's done. That's all I can say with that gun. My Micro 9, it's going to jam always on the second round unless I load the mag properly with the correct 9mm ammo. That is the right length. Micro 9s like a little bit longer ammo. Otherwise, the slide comes forward. It hits the back of the round. It drives the nose of the round down because of how it's coming over, I guess. It drives the nose of the round down and straight into the ramp, and that's where it stays. If I'm lucky, I can give it a smack or re-rack, and it'll go in, but that's maybe 50% of the time. It's either the first round loading it, getting it ready to holster and go out for the day, right? Or it's always that second round. But after that, it's always fine. But I know that. So I load it appropriately, and I've got enough experience with it where I'm comfortable with it. And I know how to correct the malfunction if need be. I don't know why I still carry it. I shouldn't probably, but I do. You like to switch things up sometimes. That's all. I had a Glock 26. I had a Glock 17, 19, a 19X. I don't mind the 19X so much. But other than the 17, I got rid of all of them. I like that gun. That's what goes on my battle belt. I don't conceal carry a Glock. I don't like them for that. I like my P365 for that. I like my bodyguard for just running around. And that Micro 9 is so damn comfortable. That's all. It's comfortable. So there's a lot to be said for that. When something's comfortable, you'll carry it, right? Anyhow, make sure that whatever you're carrying, you shoot it the best. You don't have to think about it. It's second nature. It always works. And number one, you shoot it the best. If you shoot a 1911 the best, trust me, I would love if I shot a 1911 as well as I shoot my Glock. I would carry a 1911 every day. Just carry more mags. That's all. No big deal, right? And I'd much rather carry that. But didn't work out that way. So that's what I do. Whatever rifle, AK, AR, I don't care what. I'm not here to tell you what's right for you. I'm just here to tell you to keep it simple and be sure you can run that thing in the dark, covered in mud, covered in blood, in the sand, working all the time from the side, using your teeth, whatever, that in any situation, you can rock that thing to the best of your ability. And we forget about that sometimes, especially guys like me doing videos sometimes. I'm old enough to where I've got the experience. I've used these things for decades, and I know what works. So, when I'm testing stuff and all, it's like, well, I got so many choices of stuff I could use, and I found out that's dangerous. I have my go-to. The rest of them are toys. That's all. They're collection stuff. They're stuff I like, but at the end of the day, you got your rig and stick to it. Don't be changing stuff up. Find what you like, find what you use well, and stick to it. That guy that's got the newest, latest, and greatest, promise you, he ain't going to win any gunfights. So that's my be ready for the day. Okay. Now, on to new pews. Touched on it briefly. I told you about my son's friend that's in the Marines who has had a prowler around the house. Got a new wife, new baby, and she's watched the doorknobs move on the front door. Someone jiggling it, trying to get in. She's scared to death. Handprints on the back window, push like this. He shot me a picture of it. I wish I knew how to put it up here. Try to push it up or whatever. I asked him if it was like a peeping Tom sexual kind of thing or a break-in. He doesn't know. He didn't report it, because he's a Marine and he armed his wife and all that. But I told him just make a report, period. Get it on paper. And so hopefully he will. I gave him advice on USCCA. Get it. You got insurance. Great training for guys and gals, but a lot of great training for gals on there. I gave him the best advice I could. I'm kind of, in one way, I'm kind of shocked at what he bought for her. And in another way, I'm not. He's grown up with me in my house. He was one of those kids that was always here, right? Where I'd walk out of the bedroom and he's coming out of the pantry chomping on a Twinkie, right? Hey, Mr. C, how are you? He was one of my kids. That's all. A great kid and serving his country now. And so I guess I probably had some influence on him. He likes the older stuff, and his first gun he bought was $1,000. No, first gun he bought, I went with him. He didn't have a lot of money, and he bought an inexpensive, was it Savage? I think Savage 223 bolt action. And he enjoyed the hell out of that. And he didn't go through so much ammo because he didn't have the money for it and all of that. And so he bought that and had a blast with it. Now he's got an AR. He's got $1,000. He got one through the CMPP. I walked him through that. Loves it. And so what does he buy his wife? He buys her a 1911. And he buys her a Rock Island, the GI, those cheapy, the flat. Here's the grips. I took them off today. So I got one of these. Rock Island Armory 1911s. They're parked finish, plain black parked finish, and they got these plain smooth wood grips on them. The cheapest, crappiest wood you could come across. They're made in the Philippines, the guns, and imported by Rock Island. And there's nothing wrong with a Philippine 1911. The Filipinos have been making some fabulous 1911s for a long, long time. And I looked at the gun. I've always looked at them, and my first thought for the gun was, original World War II 1911s are expensive, stamped with property of U.S. government and all that. And I wanted one to kind of go with my Grand on display, that kind of thing. And then I saw these, and I thought, well, that's an expensive option. It looks the part and all that. Maybe I'll get one of them. And it wasn't an important thing. And although I think I got it for $450, they're on sale. Dunham's, actually. And it was just one of them things. Well, $450 will buy me a case of ammo or two, And so finally, they had 4 of them sitting there the other day. hey, guess what? They had a VR80 shotgun too, and I damn near put it off to buy a second VR80 because I like those shotguns. But I figured I'd let someone else get it because I got one already. So I bought this, and it's, tell you what, I got it home, and I pulled out my Kimber Custom Carry 2, which is a two-tone blue with a stainless frame, polished rosewood grips, really beautiful gun. And I pulled out my Sig Sauer 1911, the We the People one, really cool gun. And I got this. Cleaned them all, oiled them all, and then I start racking the slide, start grabbing the slide and tilting it for play, you know, all of that. Triggers, all this. Guess what? At the end of the day, this Rock Island is tighter than hell. Not too tight. Now, I haven't shot it yet, but I saw an interview with the owner of Rock Island, and he said their goal is that everyone works out of the box, period, end of story, lifetime warranty on the things. And everybody I've talked to has just had great luck with them. And as far as smooth, it's got a heavier recoil spring than most, but hey, I've shot my other ones. This one I haven't, so it's probably, you know, the worn in thing. But you know, smoothness, that type of thing, there's really not that big a difference. Kimbers, being hand fitted like they are, even the lower on the line, can be kind of tight, and tight on a 1911 can make a gun finicky, right? The biggest thing, guys, in case you don't know, for any automatic pistol, for reliability and feed, is the distance between the mag, the tip of the bullet, and the ramp. It's not the ramp angle so much as it is that distance. And once you learn that and learn how to change that distance, you'll know how to fix guns that don't feed right. It's that simple. I should do a video on it sometime because it's the be all end all to guns feeding right. It just is. I can take any pistol, somebody brings it in and says, "Hey, Chris, this thing ain't running right." I take one look down. I see, yeah, okay, we'll get back to you next week, and it'll be perfect always, forever and ever after that. Yes, magazines can have something to do with it, but even a bad mag, I can get the feed right if that distance is done correctly. Anyhow, yeah, so I got one of these Rock Island Armory 1911s, and I'm very impressed. I put a set of OD green grips on it. It looks badass, and it's smooth. It functions well. Don't know how accurate it is yet. I'll tell you this, my Sig 1911, 5 times as accurate as my Kimber. That gun's a laser compared to the Kimber. I'm excited to get this one out and see what we can do with it. But it's, for that kind of money, you know, the difference between a $400 1911 and a $1,200 1911 is not that much, other than sights. I will say the sights on that GI suck. They're horrible. Horrible. But 1911s are those natural pointing guns to me. It's like shooting a Colt single action. You don't aim it. It's point. You shoot off the top of the barrel. And that's how I shoot 1911s and why I'm fast with them. But it's a solid gun. I'm really impressed. I kind of like it. I don't know why I need it, but hey, what the hell. Anyhow, I'll be impressed. I'll bring you a video, and I can't wait to shoot it. What do we got going on in the comments here? All good. 2A, I just consider my G2C clothing. I've carried a 25 as a backup gun. Used to collect them. I wouldn't carry a 25. Oh my God. I have 2. One's a baby Browning, cool little gun, right? Some real history there. And I've got a Beretta, the pop-up barrel. That thing is reliable. Anything else? Here, I owned a wood manufacturing plant. 60,000 square feet under roof, right? So at night we go in there, and it was a pallet business. We built pallets. And so I had stacks and stacks and stacks of wood everywhere. We could go inside and shoot all night. Nobody knew anything, right? Into the scrap wood, other wood, stuff that we were chucking in the grinder. and we could shoot everything from high-powered rifles to pistols in there. And we had neighbors across the street. Nobody ever knew. Don't do it anymore. I sold the company. Nobody get all riled up, but we could go in there and train all night and do all kinds of stuff. The only thing that would stop us is the smoke buildup, and then we'd have to open a garage, one of the overhead doors, and clear things out. Or I could turn on the dust collection system and it would clear it out real quick too. So it was kind of like having your own range. It cleared everything out. It was really cool. And it was cool because it was warehouses and stuff, and you could move and train, and it really worked out well. I miss it. I miss it a lot. I don't miss the hassle and of the business and all of that. But I do miss, I mean, from loading docks to offices to running through areas with machinery and shooting. And yeah, we had one mishap one night with a very expensive piece of machinery, but that was no big deal. But it was a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm shooting a 25 and they're testing it because it wasn't feeding right. And in this one case, it was the mag for sure. And this damn thing, I could shoot this thing at this pile of wood. I don't know how far it was, 30 yards maybe away. And I could watch that bullet lob in there. Holy Christ. I wouldn't carry that I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. But if you like them, it's one thing to collect them. It's a whole nother to hope you're going to protect yourself with that thing. Anyhow, yeah, that's 25s. Wow. I'd watch them lob in there. I show my father-in-law, look at this thing. Yeah, I know it's killed more people than most killers sure did. Well, you know what? I'd say 22. I don't know that I'd go 25 2A. But yeah, it's the Saturday night special thing. I know. No doubt it's deadly. No doubt. But I take the power factor mixed with the unreliability of the majority of those pistols, not all, majority. The Beretta is very reliable. And it's just a bad here. You know as well as I do, you're not trusting your life to it. There's better choices. Much better choices. 22 TCM. Yeah, that's yeah. I'd regret that too. Why'd you sell it? Should have kept that. What else you got in here? Yeah, you know what? Rock Island has impressed me from that VR80 shotgun that is magnificent to this 45 to, yeah, there's some decent stuff out there. Yes, I will agree that the center fire is more reliable than the 22 rimfire for sure. What I'm talking about is the feeding on the thing. I've never, other than the Beretta, had a 25 that fed 100% reliable. The gangbangers seem to like 380 around here. Quite popular where it was before the ammo shortage. Yeah, who would have thought 380 would go be so short, you know? Yep, trust your life with the G2C, G3C, G3, great budget guns. You got it. Fabulous guns. You know what? A guy I work with is a huge Taurus guy, and I mentioned your channel to him, and he's got that Taurus 22 as well. I can't remember the model, but man, what a nice 22. Can't remember the model of it. But he's got a G2, he's got a G2C. He's wanting to get a G3, just hasn't. But he swears by him, loves that 22. He carries that thing a lot. I wouldn't have a problem. I don't mind carrying a 22. I don't mind. And then again, if you go quality ammo, it's not usually unreliable. It's the feeding of these smaller calibers sometimes and cheaper stuff that is questionable. But there's some quality 22 guns out there. I mean, the Ruger SR22, great gun. I've had haven't had a single issue with that, no matter what I put through the damn thing. Unlike my Glock 22, which, man, oh man, unless I'm putting good stuff through that high power stuff, It's very, very finicky. But the Taurus, the Ruger, good stuff. Good stuff. I really want the AR-12. That VR-80 will be on my list. I'm telling you, it's great shit. TX-22, yes. Fabulous little pistol. Man, I love that gun. I should get one of those. I got a thing for 22s. I like messing with them. And but that Glock's been disappointing. I got to get that thing out to the range more. I was hoping it would feel better, heavier. I don't know. The slide disappoints me. I know, but it is what it is. But M&P 22, I'm trying to think if he has one of those too, but I've come across those and shot one, and nice gun. That Glock is, I can't tell you how disappointing I am. I thought it was, the one thing I don't like Glocks, but I can't deny how reliable they are, and this gun just isn't reliable. So you got that. Anyhow, so we got that, and then we got our Arsenal Sam 7 side folder with OD green furniture from the factory. And man, what a rifle. So I'm going to be bringing you a video on that. Great rifle. It's cool to have the OD from the factory. Now I got to find an OD mag for it, just for display, but there were 3 on Gunbroker, and they were all $250 to $275 for a Circle 10 in OD green. Craziness. If you want a plum or a OD green mag, Circle 10, you better be prepared to pay up, man. Oh man. Anyhow, so I almost bought it and I didn't. Partially because I thought, man, what would the guys on here say if I paid almost $300 for a goddamn polymer mag, right? Anyhow, lever gun. I have a Browning lever gun in 44 mag. That's phenomenal. My first gun was a shotgun, but my first rifle. So Winchester Model 94, I still got it. Still looks like damn near like brand new because I take such good care of it. 30-30. And I've got a couple Henrys that I love. They're the Henry Golden Boy 22. That thing's like a Swiss watch. Literally, click, click, click. Just so nice. And I've got one in 45 Long Colt. 2A EDU's loving his Lynx 12. That's another great gun, and I believe that uses the same mags as the VR80, if I'm not mistaken. What else? Yeah, 44 mag. That's that. My dad took a lot of deer with his 44 mag lever gun. I watched him shoot one running one day. Thing dropped down on its chin and slid about 10 yards, and that was it. From a tree stand down in Missouri. I tease you over a mag that costs you more than a carry gun. Hey, man, different stages of life, different budgets, Trust me, I've been there. I've been so broke I couldn't pay attention. Trust me, nobody knows broke like I know broke. We all go through that, man. There's good times, bad times, and is that a song? Good times, bad times, something in between. These are the best times I ever seen. Is that a Van Halen song? David Lee Roth song? I can't remember. Oh, there's good times and bad times. I don't know. Anyhow, so we got the Arsenal. We got the 1911. There was something else. Oh, the M17. Got to bring you that. I've had a 320 forever, but this M17, I wanted the Coyote one and all that, so I got it. So we'll bring you that. What else? I guess those are the 3 most recent. That's what we'll bring you. We'll have some videos coming out on those. Wanted to talk about, I touched on each one at the beginning, just tell you what we were talking about, but safety, new shooters, getting them into the sport, promoting our sport, and our beliefs, our Second Amendment rights with new blood, new people, whether that's younger people, older people, just bringing numbers. It's numbers, 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 numbers. The more it's like the owner of Palmetto State Armory said. He wanted to sell ARs, not cheap ARs, but inexpensive ARs, to get them in the hands of as many people as possible, because the more people have one, the more it's normalized, the more it's every day, and the more people there are to push back and say, no, you're not taking these things from us. And he's done a magnificent job at it, right? And we have to do the same thing every day. We need to be recruiting. We need to be the spokesperson, the poster child for bringing people into the fold. We can't be the wackos, you don't ever want to show us in a poor light, right? You need to be helpful. You need to bring it up. You can't hide the fact of what you think about the Second Amendment. You need to be vocal. They are. We need to be twice as vocal as they are. So I had never thought about it much family-wise, because we're a gun family. We always have been, generationally, for generations and generations. But my sister-in-law calls me today, and he better not be listening. I'll ruin the surprise. But I doubt he is. I told my wife to call her and keep him off of here tonight. But she wants to surprise him with a new concealed carry gun. They're in Tennessee, and he's got an old Beretta. Doesn't have a rail, nothing. I didn't even recognize the model. It's a 9mm, no rail. I don't know that it's that popular that people even make holsters for it, this and that. He wanted to put a light on it. I said, there's no way you'll put a light on it. I told him, you want a holster dedicated to that firearm so it stays put, because where do most fights either quickly get to or end up? On the ground, right? You're rolling around, you're tussling, this and that. You want to make sure that gun stays put. Very, very important. That's why I started the conversation with this holster and went to this holster and then talked about a retention holster, right? Because you don't want anybody getting that gun from you. Terrible things happen when that happens. Yeah, I get lightweight, I get small, I get all of that. But at the end of the day, you don't want that thing going anywhere. So make sure you have a holster that works. So anyways, he asked me my opinion if I was going to have one gun to carry day in, day out, and maybe even double as, your only gun. And a lot of people would say, get yourself a Glock 19. I recommended the SIG 365 XL. I just like it. It works for me. It's been super reliable. There's a lot of accessories for it, all of that good stuff. He liked it. And so I ended up recommending that. She called today. How do I get one? What do I do? And the conversation was kind of interesting. She said, hey, I got nothing against guns. He's got a couple, and I got nothing against him. It's just I'm intimidated by him, and I know I shouldn't be. What do I do to get over this intimidation of him? I said, it's simple. I said, you come out to the range with me, and we give you some training. And or if you're not comfortable with me, find some professional training and learn how to use it. And I said, you might be surprised that once you get into it, you find it fun, you find it challenging, competitive, whatever. Maybe you get into all kinds of stuff. I think a lot of people, once they try it, they find all kinds of interesting ways to have fun, right? So we're talking, and I'm thinking, look at this. This is my family, and here's somebody that's intimidated by guns. We don't think twice about guns, right, guys? They're laying around everywhere. But those people that you may take for granted that you think are just like you or I are intimidated by them. So we have to expose these people. We have to bring them into the fold. We have to do it the right way, and we have to do it safely, with training, with knowledge, put our biases aside in some cases and show them the choices that are out there. Granted, good choices, but show them the different choices, what works, what doesn't, and most importantly, training. Training, because we want them to be safe. We want them to stay legal. We don't want them ending up in a lawsuit or in jail, for that matter. Things can go. Clint Smith, his famous saying is, "There's a lawyer attached to every bullet you fire." There's a lawyer attached to it. He's absolutely right, especially today. So we want to get them that. We have to get out there. We have to make it a task every week that we bring one person into the fold. One person in, whether that's a starter conversation to get it going, or whether that's actually having that conversation, they're interested in pulling them in and inviting them out that weekend. Whatever the case may be. You're never going to change the minds of people by debating or even having spirited conversations or spouting off everything we know about the Second Amendment and the left and the right and the this and the that. We are maybe motivating ourselves and others that think alike, but I don't know that you're going to change that many minds, right? So how do we do that? We make them part of what we love. We show them why we like it, what's interesting about it, what it can do, and hey, come try it out. Worst case scenario, they'll come to the same conclusion they already had. Oh, it's scary, it's dangerous, I don't like it, and I want nothing to do with it. Okay, we tried. But best case scenario, hey, this is kind of cool. I don't know anybody that shot some fun guns and that it didn't put a smile on their face, right? I did it with my nephew, my niece. They grew up very to the left, let's say, and their mom and other family members pushed them that way, and they love Uncle Chris and they love going to the range. And I hope I change that line, right? Their way of thinking. And I don't push it on them. They ask. I took them and they love it. Absolutely love it. And that's how you change it. They understand they're not scary. There's nothing to be scared of. If anything, it quells those fears, right? Once you own a gun, know how to use it proficiently, nobody can push upon you their way or make you do what you don't want to do. That's the magnificent thing and the empowerment of owning a firearm, right? You are no longer at the will of those that would wish to do harm to you. And that is something that I think people quickly realize when they get rid of those initial fears or get rid of those stereotypes, right? So that's what we need to do. You need to make a point every week to bring someone into your fold, to show them, to invite them, to offer to train. Now, guys, if you don't have that much knowledge, maybe offer to take a class with them or something. We don't want anything to go wrong, right? We're trying to impress upon them the good of what we do. So if you're not ready for it, maybe offer to go with them, whatever. Just all I'm saying is just be safe. Make sure everything's proper. Make sure everything's functioning correctly. Make sure you follow every safety rule. Have a sit down. Have some time with them beforehand, pre-range, pre-live fire. Tell you a funny thing. We sponsor a shoot at one of the clubs I belong to every year. Now, with COVID, it hasn't happened the last year. Might happen this year, but we have an open house. We have manufacturers come out, Springfield Armory. A lot of big names are out there. members bring. I usually work the pistol range, and members will bring 2-3 pistols out of our own. The club provides the ammo, and you walk up and you see this where I do a lot of my videos. You see there's, I don't know, 20 benches, and we have tables out in front of that, and all the guns are on them. There's, God, 100 different pistols of every shape, form, stock, race guns, you name it, it's out there. 22s to 50 cals. They're out there, and the members lay them out there and trust a couple of us, or 4 or 5 of us that run that part of the range for this open house, that will take care of it and teach these people how to be safe and how to shoot it. And we take a lot of control of it because it is the general public. It's amazing we're able to do it insurance-wise, because these are people just walking off the street who may or may not have ever shot a gun before, and everything that's there is open to them to be able to shoot, from rifles to pistols to trap to plinking ranges for kids to skeet to long distance rifles, black powder, Barretts, you name it. It's there, and anybody can walk up and shoot it for free. And so I'm running the pistol range, right? We're almost to the end of the day. So some of the vendors are walking around, and here's a lady in an NRA shirt, a polo shirt, NRA, white shirt with the logo. And she's looking, and it's kind of slowed down. We don't have a line anymore. And I said, would you like to shoot? She says, yeah. I said, well, do you have one in mind? She said, I like to shoot that one. I forget what it is, what kind of gun. But so I said, are you familiar with them? She says, well, not really. And I'm kind of like, you're here representing the NRA. And she was representing the NRA insurance thing, the concealed carry insurance or whatever they have. And so she picks this pistol, and I show her a proper grip. And I tell her how it's going to work. You know, we're going to get up there. I'm going to put it in her hand. She's going to grip it. I'm going to rack around in. Would you like me to grip over you? You know, no, she's okay with that. She can handle it. And, I hear a puppy coming here. Hey, doing a live stream. You letting dogs out? My son, you guys have seen him in a couple videos.
Actually,
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. My cigarette delivery, just what I need. Anyhow, she says, no, I don't want you to overgrip. I got this. And I said, on the last shot, the gun's going to lock open. Keep it pointed down range. I will take it from you. We'll clear the gun, and we'll get you off the range. Very specific instructions. Been doing it all day long. Been doing it every year, just like this. So she's ready to go. I back off a couple feet. I said, all right, you're ready to go when you are. And she lets that first round go, and the gun tumbles up out of her hands and hits the ground. And oh my God. And I'm yelling, stop, stop, stop. You know, everything on the range stops at that point. Thank God. I believe when it hit the ground, it was facing down range. So I grabbed it. Cleared the gun, everything, talked to her. Are you all right? Everything's good. I said, would you like to continue? And I said, I'm going to show you what went wrong here. And I said, I don't think you're understanding just how much force you need to grip this with. And it was a 9. I know it was a 9 or at the most. So went through it again with her. This time I overgripped with her, and she put one through it. She finished up the mag. And we had a nice day, but oh my, thankfully it wasn't a SIG. Damn Canadians, bunch of pussies. Special forces, what a laugh, huh? Anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just old, but it sure strikes me that when something goes wrong with a gun, a lot of people like to blame the gun for human error. I don't know. But I'm not saying one way or another. I don't know. It just seems to me that, man, so much research and development companies, they've been making guns for hundreds of years. Some companies, and it's just kind of weird that a gun would magically go off, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not saying one way or another, but anyhow, Yeah, and I guess dropping it's a different thing. But anyhow, that happened. And she's wearing an NRA shirt to boot. That was wonderful, wasn't it? So why don't you stay facing this way and we'll walk you off so no one else sees that you belong to one of our organizations. But yeah, so that went on. You don't want that to happen. You want it to be a good experience. You want them to feel that. Mateo, yeah, must be talking about a SIG 320. I find it. I don't know. I've had a 320 forever. I haven't dropped one, but I find that hard to believe. I really do. I'm not saying it's not happening. I just find it hard to believe. Anyhow, we need to portray and have that safe, fun time at the range, but make sure you're doing it with someone. If nothing else, if people look up to different people, if you're one of those people, let them know what you do for a hobby. Let them know how important it is to you and get them interested in the conversation. You'll be amazed at how many people want to join in, just haven't had the opportunity. Some people think that guns are so, well, how do you even get one? Oh my God. I mean, my sister-in-law, how do I do that? You mean I can do that and order it? Yeah. You want me to do it for you? Sure. Okay. And next thing you know, the gun's already on the way to her house today. And then for his birthday, I bought him some ammo and sent it down there. And now we got her into it. Now she's getting a gun. She wants one. She wants to take classes. It sometimes just takes that spark. So make sure you're talking about it. Don't allow, like we talked about at the beginning, the political correctness and all that to overpower and silence you, because that is the first step to them getting rid of the First Amendment. Political correctness is that. It's silencing you, silencing your ideas, silencing the way you talk, silencing the things you say. And guys, they're not incorrect. There's no such thing. It's your right. Talk how you want. Don't be embarrassed. Don't be afraid. Don't be, that's not acceptable anymore. I call bullshit on all of it. Get out there, promote what you believe in. They do every day. I keep going back to that. Let's see here. Mateo, have a report of one from the last lawsuit of one going off on a nightstand in the middle of the night. Yeah, right? It just, man, the ghost must have shown up. SIG's had this one out of Canada now for some time, and they've tested it every which way but loose and can't get it to go. It's, I don't know, newbies, nobody ever wants to admit they made a mistake, right? Especially some high-speed special forces operator out of Canada, right? He doesn't want to say he made a mistake, right? I leave extra ammo if someone teaching a kid in bay next to me, I figure the kid needs it more than I do. Absolutely. I'll never forget the day a guy he saw my son watching him shoot this Grand, and that's my son's dream rifle. And before I had one, he was a little shit. Now you see how tall he was when he walked in here. He was just a little shit, 7, 8 years old. He just sat there watching this guy. He didn't take his eyes off him. And the guy says, I think your son might want to shoot this. Is it okay if he tries it? Absolutely. And he must have weighed 40 pounds soaking wet at the time, and he let that Grand rip a whole clip, no problem. He didn't even wince. He loved it. Smile from ear to ear. That's what you have to do. Younger generation, guys, they're the ones that are going to be political coming up. They're the ones that can make the most noise. They're the ones that we need to get into the fold. They're the ones that will be the influencers. They're the ones on social media. Those are the people you need to get into the fold. Maybe you don't like the way they look, dress, this, that. I can't tell you how many of these kids I've seen that they're just that. They're kids. And you look past that stuff, and one day they go to school, they get a job, they dress the right way, they do the right things, and they become part of the workforce and moms and dads and all that other stuff. It's changing them now, though. Now, because the schools are, the teachers are, media is. You need to get a hold of them now. It's not about the 35, the 45s, the 55s. Those people have their mindset. They're done. You're not going to change them. Arguing is not going to change them. You can repeat it as much as you want. They're not changing their mind for the most part. Not saying it can't be done, but we need to get it normalized like it was when we were kids. I tell you the story about walking in the front door of my high school with a shotgun for the hunting and fishing club. Nobody thought twice about it. Today, you'd have SWAT teams, right? So it's about getting these kids normalized to it, to show them they're not bad, they're not scary, they're not anything. A black rifle is simply the normal progression of military hardware into the sporting world, right? Deer hunting went from black powder rifles to bolt actions after World War I and II, to automatic rifles after the advent of that. Military stuff trickles down, right? Black rifles are normal. Now we use them for everything. From coyote hunting, they went from the only time you saw them being used sporting-wise, 15, 20 years ago, was varmints, coyotes. That's all you ever saw them used for. And now deer rifles and everything else, it is what it is. So you have to normalize it, and you have to get them involved. You have a neighbor kid that, I don't know, maybe dad doesn't have as much time, or, maybe he's not the best kid. Maybe, I don't know, whatever. You have an opinion. Get him out there. Somebody actually caring, actually giving a shit might just make a difference. And anyone we can bring into the fold is another ally that we can stand shoulder to shoulder with and protect our rights, because at the end of the day, that's what it's going to take. It's going to take mass non-compliance or mass standing up and showing our numbers. That's what it's going to take. I was watching the impeachment today. It'll make you ill watching it. Did you know they were armed to the teeth? They were armed to the teeth, according to these. Let's see. They don't call them prosecutors. They call them, what was the term they had? Impeachment specialists. I don't know, something like that. Don't call them prosecutors. Impeachment something or other. And it was all your typical offenders from the left. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous. Armed to the teeth. The Trump army, they were armed to the teeth. I didn't see a weapon there anywhere. They showed a magical close-up picture of the guy that was sitting at Nancy Pelosi's desk talking about the stun gun. Look, if you look here and they zoom in, you can see a stun gun with 90,000 volts ready to kill and maim. And shut up. Just shut up. It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And how they make it look, and, how they overpowered our magnificent DC police force. They stood out of the way. They stood out of the way. They let them in. They did not do their job. They did not. Promise you that. I don't know whether or not they were complicit, but I do know that at a minimum, they didn't give it their all in fighting back. That's for goddamn sure. In my eyes, they were complicit. Somebody gave them orders to stand down. And I don't know that those leading the charge in weren't hired hands either. Matter of fact, we know some of them were, right? But, and then some got caught up in it. It upsets me, because maybe it was the last charge. Maybe it was, we should have stood up. Maybe that was the opportunity. I don't know. Maybe it was. They said that they were forcefully hunting them down, that they would have killed Pence and killed Nancy Pelosi, that they said they would, and they showed all this stuff. Maybe they would. I don't know. Public figures are in danger all the time. It's part of the game, right? Managers, that's what it was. Managers. They were impeachment managers. How are you managing? What are you managing? Managing to make yourself look like a bunch of friggin' idiots? It's unconstitutional. They know that they already had enough Republicans vote against it that it was unconstitutional to begin with. So they know when the vote comes on this, if they're gonna vote the same way, they don't have enough votes to pass it. So it's just theater right now. But oh man, well, you got to watch it, because the pomp and circumstance and the production value they put into this, they spent some huge money on these videos and the production of it all. I believe they had I heard it the other night, they had some big Hollywood company put this video together, this montage showing all this anti-stuff, supposedly. And the money they spent is unbelievable. And anytime they talk about violence and the left and armed to the teeth and all that, this is a setup, guys, for what's coming with the gun control. They're going to say how Looney Tunes the right is, and you're hearing about all these shootings and all this violence and all the murder rates up and all. This is just a setup for this next bill coming through. That's what it is. It's a setup for this next bill. Don't think it isn't. And I would go so far as to say, I bet you see a big news story in the next couple of months. I think you all know about what. You'll see some big action happening. It's so sad, the children, the this, the that. You'll see that coming down. You'll see it coming down, I promise you. Look at this woman. They threw off her committees because she was a conspiracy theorist. She didn't believe Parkland, this, that. Well, I think there's plenty of us that may have our doubts. I don't know. But yeah, you'll see one of those coming down, I'll bet. Yeah, sometimes it's amazing how coincidental, isn't it? That the coincidence is just so uncanny. The timing is unbelievable. I just got that feeling. I don't know. Well, we are in at the 2-hour mark. I covered all three of them. What do you guys got going on? What do you guys do every day to get somebody into the fold? What have you done in the last year to bring somebody in? Have you taken anybody to the range? Have you grabbed a kid, a neighbor, a relative, or this or that? Showed them what it's all about. Show them what we do. Show them. It's one other thing I want to touch on. I keep hearing, and you guys know this is true, but even YouTube personalities, they bring the Second Amendment around to, it ends up talking about protecting your safety and your family's safety. That's what they bring it around. They're trying to take our Second Amendment away so you can't protect yourself and your family, your home, your castle. That's not what the Second Amendment is about. It has nothing to do with protecting you and your family, unless you're trying to protect it against a tyrannical government. That's what it has to do with. Guys, forget about this protecting from the criminal element. Forget about hunting, which Biden that's what he loves to talk about. Who needs a 30-round mag, 100-round mag for hunting? Nobody does. We get that. But then again, the Second Amendment, our right to keep and bear arms, has nothing to do with that. No, you're right, Mr. Biden. I don't need a 100-round drum magazine to hunt deer. You're absolutely correct. What you're incorrect about is your premise that that's why I want it. No, I want it for hunting. It's just for hunting something else. Something that someone's trying to do to me that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to like, right? That's why I need it. For hunting, they're hunters. How's that sound? That makes sense? For getting rid of a government that is overreaching, tyrannical, and wants to take away my rights and impose their ways and their ways of thinking upon me. That is what it's there for. That is what our founding fathers put it there for. They didn't mention deer hunting. They didn't mention sport. They didn't mention collecting. They didn't mention mag count. It was to fight off a tyrannical government, assuming that government had a standing army, correct? armed with whatever weapons of the time, which then logically means I need those same weapons to fight off that army, correct? Or overtake that army and overthrow that tyrannical government to keep me and my family safe and our rights intact. That's what I need it for. End of story. Not protecting from the boogeyman and not protecting deer in the forest. I don't need it for that. I need it for keeping you in line, Mr. Biden. That's what I need it for. And the rest of our government who thinks they want to, just control and think what they want to think. And that's not the way things are. We have a right to protect that. And people will say, well, what do you think? Your government's going to be tyrannical? Guys, I guarantee you in Germany, the day before the night of broken glass and all that, nobody ever thought they'd have some psychopath invading half the world and killing millions, right? Nobody thought that was going to be their future a year or two down the line, right? Nobody. It can happen in the blink of an eye. It's happened in Venezuela. It happens all around the world every day. Our founding fathers were genius, absolutely ingenious, coming up with this giant experiment and protecting it the way they have. Looking back, they probably could have done it better by adding a few things to it, right, and clarifying, but it's pretty clear because it's common sense, and that's unfortunately what the left lacks, is that common sense. So knowing that, stop with the protecting my house, my family. It's not for that. It's a byproduct of it. But when we talk about it, it's to protect ourselves against a tyrannical, overreaching government. That's the argument. Because that leads to why we need the things we need. Because they have them. I can't fight off an army with that, right? Not today, maybe back then, 200 years ago when they had that, but it's about having what they have. And then always comes the argument, well, you need a nuclear missile too? No, you friggin' idiot. There's proof of armies and factions all around the world that have fought off the world's two largest superpowers for hundreds of years. Look at the Afghanistan. That's prime example. Look at the Vietnamese. They fought off the biggest superpowers in the world with small arms, essentially, right? Once it kicks off anyways, the other stuff shows up magically, but that'll always be around. But they like to manipulate it to get off the subject that we're really talking about. They like to manipulate it so that, we somehow relate it to hunting or whatever the case may be. Hunting, taking care of our family, as opposed to what it's really about. And that's what we need to make sure we keep it on course. And we have to say it. We have to say it. We can't just assume that that'll be said. Next week, I'm going to get into some stuff that I heard an interview with a couple of people that gave interviews to the mainstream media. And they chop up the interview to include certain things and leave out others. And if you are at a protest or something and you get interviewed, there's ways of saying things and including things throughout almost the entire thing, always saying, repeating. So there's no way they can cut it out. And we're going to talk somewhat about that. You'll be telling your side of the story, yet you say one thing and they can cut that out and use the portion after to make it sound totally different. There's ways to do those interviews where they can't do it, where it doesn't make sense if they do that kind of thing, and or you're repeating it so much that there's no way they can change it. So I think that somebody, if we're getting out there, we're speaking, we're getting involved, we're doing these things, you need to know this. I got interviewed at a Trump rally in Milwaukee. It was like I was a magnet. They you kept make eye contact with them, and oh geez, they were right over to you. I don't know if I just looked like the average Joe or looked like I was more interviewable or whatever. but they interviewed me and my wife several times. I ended up on the front page of USA Today and the front page of the Milwaukee Sentinel. Yeah, I thought, oh, great, here we go. But yeah, it was interesting. And they quoted me well in it. Quoted my wife well, too. I think the quote was wonderful. It was something like, what are you doing here in Milwaukee? You're kind of a far away from home. She said, well, you don't think that the news media up there would report on the Trump rally, do you? Or something like that. I don't remember now. It's been a while. But let's see what's going on in the comments here. I've heard talk of 2A prohibiting government from infringing God-given rights and to save our republic. Absolutely. On your channel, sir, you speak correctly, but a lot of these, I'm not talking about yours. It wasn't yours. I was listening to other stuff, and it just pisses me off because they just don't do it correctly like you do. Yeah, make it short. You're right. Make it short so it can't be manipulated. You're right. Short and to the point. The more you drag it out, the more you talk about it, the more room there is for one, errors, two, room for them to manipulate it all. It is my right as an American to be armed, period. Yes, you're correct. They do have mortars and RPGs in the Middle East. Yes, they do. Those things show up. It's amazing. First of all, no massive change, revolution, civil war, that is going to happen without the help of the military. And got a friend that went through the Yugoslavian civil war, and he said the first few weeks are confusing, that there's more than two factions that come out of it. He says you got factions that'll crawl out of the woodwork, and it's very confusing. Nobody knows who to follow, what to do, who's telling the truth, this, that. It eventually smooths itself out, and the two major sides kind of congeal, and you kind of know what's what. And at that point, there's always military backing, usually both sides, some pieces of it or other powers. And those other arms quickly show up, quickly, and lots of them, is what he told me. It was amazing, is what he said. He couldn't believe the amount of arms that just magically, literally, like he said, magically showed up. They're pushing it, at that point. So you may not have to worry about that stuff. And they use AKs and Enfields, Mosins, not by chance, but because those are the best for urban civil war. Yeah, and they're what they have left over in a lot of cases, surplus. And those factions, the left, are a lot of the ones dropping that stuff. Mosins were used in Vietnam by like crazy everywhere. And even after, they're all over the Middle East too. All ATF regulations are even worse beyond the past laws. They are. ATF needs to go away. We all know that. We all know the NFA, all of that. We haven't made, we've made a lot of progress on the state fronts, but federally, it's been a tough road, guys. It's been a while since we had any major wins. Powers of vacuum. Yep. So, I'll be bringing you those videos on some of the new stuff this week. Get involved, guys. Get out there. Go over to AEDU's channel on Friday and listen to some good advice over there. He says it how it is and how it should be, and keeps it interesting, and keeps things moving, and a great chat, and just a great asset to our community. So make sure you get over there Friday. I'll be there. I'll be driving, like I said, but I usually say hi at the beginning. And then I'm driving, so I don't text too much. And when I get home, I fire off all these comments, and then it's over. But we'll see. You don't need an armor for an AK or AR. No, you don't. You don't really. I was born after huge. Others dropped the ball. My whole gun owning life has been uphill. It's been an uphill battle since the NFA, since I can't ever remember a time when it wasn't. and even before, Prohibition did a number. We had kind of a reprieve there for a while. I think you had a major bill there. Still the 30s, 40s, 50s were okay, but man, it's been tough, and it always will be. It always will be. You just have to be strong, right? And these last 4 years, we thought we had it in the bag, right? And good times breed weak men, like they say. There's no doubt about that. No doubt. We have to be strong. We have to be smart, and we have to be steadfast. We have to be working on it every single day. You're welcome. You don't have to thank me. You've done more than I could ever repay you. So please don't. Anybody seen much out of Misha lately? I haven't seen any. I love his videos, and I haven't seen much. I saw he did something on Polish AKs or something. Just came out. I haven't watched it yet, but love his stuff too. I wish maybe he's taking a little break. I don't know, but good stuff. If you haven't gotten over there, check his stuff out. He's one of my favorites. That's about it, guys. That's about it. Stay safe, stay warm. How's the snow going too, eh? You get a ton over there? Man, it's colder than hell here, and I'm so sick of it. Feels like that's all I did was move snow for a week or more. Can't ignore Biden. He is a seasoned. I just watched something on him too. It was look it up, because you may want to talk about this on Friday. A newspaper or a reporter out of Las Vegas did an interview with him prior to him even becoming the candidate for the Democratic Party. And they hid it. They never published it. They kept it quiet because it probably would have destroyed them a lot worse. But it's out now, and it's an interview they did with him. Somebody, either a reporter, a newscaster, somebody out of Las Vegas, where he told how he was going to do it and how he was going to package it up with other stuff. So, he was going to package it with good stuff so Republicans had cover. So they could say, well, I couldn't vote against that because it had this in there for little kids, or whatever, that kind of thing, and a bunch of different stuff. So it just showed how they asked how he was going to get it through, how he was going to get it done with Republicans, this and that. And this is before he knew he had all three houses, or both houses and the presidency, right? So it's terrifying. It's really terrifying. But maybe 2A wants to look that up and bring that up in his on Friday. I forgot all about it. You hear so much during the week, and I don't plan these all that much. I've got all these great ideas I hear throughout the week, and by the time Wednesday comes, I'm running so fast. It's like, okay, what do I got? Well, I got this. Okay, we'll run with that. And there's never enough time for all of them. So yeah, I've been doing lots of snow. That's why I haven't posted videos besides my streams. That's what I've been doing too. It's just I'm tired. So to do videos when I get home, I've been relying on these streams kind of, and I don't want to get hooked on these streams going all the time. They're just easy to do kind of. So you do them. It's not the planning and the this and the that and the editing. So you do them, but even like tonight, it was 5:30. I'm like telling my wife, "Oh shit, I got to be on in 2 hours," and I better come up with some stuff. But yeah, these omnibus bills, they're ridiculous. You're right. Did you see what's his name out of Texas? Having a brain fart again. God. The Hispanic guy. He ran for president. My God, it's getting late. Cruz, Senator Cruz. He introduced a term limit bill. Now, will it go anywhere? I don't know, but congrats to him for doing so. That's really, really cool. They've been introduced before, but we need to get one of these passed. One more. Misha just had a video on the new Arsenal AK pistol. Did he really? Which new one? Last one I saw he did was the 44, like I have, that the good one, the good setup, Thanks. Waiting for 5+ inches here in Virginia. Yeah, there's a huge ice storm going south too. You guys down south, be careful. Lots of snow. I hate that sort of poison in the Congress. It's time to fire. I thought that today watching that crap with the thing. I thought, God, everybody in that chamber needs to go. Everybody. He knew he would have a 3 Dominion voting was fully tested by then. Yeah. This whole thing, this whole impeachment, no witnesses, no nothing. Where is the investigation into these voting machines? Where is the investigation into the vote by mail? Where is you want to say that he instigated this whole thing? Well, why not look at why it started to begin with? Maybe there is something there. They'll never admit that, but Republicans aren't even pushing any investigations, not even asking for them. It's like it's over. It's done. Look at the thing, that little county in Michigan. 2A, you can talk about that. That little county in Michigan, they did some pretty intensive studies of that voting machine up there. And the reason being, it was such a small little area that the numbers were just so out of whack. They proved it. They proved it as far as I know. What happened to that? Why doesn't it go anywhere? It's such a joke. You can know for sure that vote was those numbers were changed. They're probably going to cut me off now for it. Oh, well, too bad. That's my thoughts. My thoughts. I have a right to have my thoughts, my opinion. Well, not in their mind, I don't, I guess, but not in Susie Wiki. She could give 2 shits what I think. I hate that sort of poison. Let's see. In the interview, he says even 10-round mags. Yep, you're right. So you did see that. Michael Chatnick, you saw that. Omnibus bill should be banned. It's just a tool for sneaky, underhanded BS. Yeah, just a runaround, Yeah, sleet here. Power's gone out. Yeah, I'm waiting for that here too. But I think we're going to miss the ice. Looks like Wisconsin and most of Illinois are being left out of it. I think maybe Michigan too. I don't know. They're all in on it because power and money. Yeah, maybe that was the last time we'll see a Republican president or Republican anything. Maybe it was. Maybe I got it in the bag. Who's left to fight? Who's left to fight to look into it anymore, to not cover it up? Who's left? That's all they'll do. So what's your choice at that point? Tell me. I know what the line in the sand will be. We all know what the line in the sand will be. Unlike Australia and unlike our friends to the north, I truly believe that it won't pass muster here. It won't. The people won't allow it. At least I hope I'm right. I hope I'm right that the people here won't stand for it. Unlike these other countries, I think we have our military, our veterans. I don't see them standing for it, along with the general public, for that matter. Other than the cities, you get 3 miles outside the city and life changes. It was proven 100% Gretchen and her cabal won't let the investigation continue. Was it federal? Was it state? You guys need to do like they're doing in California. Get her ass out of there. I don't know why. I know it. You guys had something going on it. If California can do it, you guys can certainly do it. I know Michigan. I lived in Michigan. It's a conservative state overall. I think you guys can get it done. Get her ass out of there. The fix is in, sealed and stamped. Yeah. But they'll make us all, we're all idiots. We're all, tinfoil hat wearing crazies. Still, but they will be similar to Bush, Romney, others. God, if Romney got in, I can't even, you watch him run again. Lots of Blue Falcons in the military now. The old assurances are gone. I don't know. They crossed the line when Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. The choice, Rock, we keep fighting and we keep ahead on taking care of us and each other. And back. Yeah, well, we need to move harder, stronger, longer, and faster than they do. The time of sitting back on your laurels is over. We need to be pounding ahead every day. It needs to be organized. We need to be out there. We need to be out there every weekend somewhere. Have to be. We had a recall petition, but Gretchen, how can they rig the recall? I mean, aren't signatures? I don't know. Interesting. I don't want to take, I'd love to hear you talk in depth about this tomorrow, about the cover-ups on this and the investigations into these voting machines and all. That's what I'd like to hear you talk about. It'd be interesting. I'm sure you probably already got it planned. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, be interesting. Because I don't get all the news from there. You tend to get local news. And they've kind of dropped that whole thing. You don't hear it. Well, even Fox is a joke now. I've been going to that One America News Network and Newsmax TV. Been going to those two instead. They're not as polished, not as well done. You don't know the people as much. So, it's not like watching Tucker or something like that. But I guess once you get to know it, it'll be as good. But I just see, God, this Chris Wallace, I just want to punch him in the face. Unbelievable. What a pile of shit. They need to get him off that channel. He's the most, him and Juan Williams too. What a douche. He needs to go. That channel has, well, we all know what it is. It's state-run media too. That's all. Yeah, I know. That's why your other channel was a very smart move. I just don't know if I'm not there yet. I'm probably speaking way too out of turn too quickly and too harshly right now. I'm risking some stuff. So, but what's the worst case scenario? Anyhow, I don't know. So guess what? I'm starving. When this thing started, my wife was cooking something that wafted down here. I thought, oh my God, I'm so hungry. I'm lucky to have a girl that can cook like crazy. So I'm going to get me some dinner, get ready to hit it and work tomorrow. And everybody stay warm, stay safe out there. Keep up the good fight, guys. Keep it up every day. Be thinking about it. Be thinking about how it's numbers. Bring them into the fold. You're not going to convert those that are already against you. You need to be converting those that are on the fence or have not decided which way to go. And how do you do it? By getting them involved in the sports, in the attraction to it, and then bringing the politics into it, or simultaneously. It's just something that we need to do. We need to be those senior elders, those mentors. We need to be the ones that they trust for the truth and for the real thought and ideas, and not who in their lives do they trust? They trust their parents. They trust their teachers. Teachers are held in high regard, right? Well, they need other mentors. We need to be those mentors. We need to show them what's wrong. That's what we need. And get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. Remember, forget about political correctness. Speak out, speak your mind, speak it loud, speak it often. I'm going to let you guys go. You all have a great night. I'll get you some videos on the new stuff we got. And take care, guys. Love you all. Have a great night. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out.